after President Akufo-Addo accepted his resignation and appointed a caretaker minister. In this report, we'll be engaging a political science lecturer and some supporters of Mr. Alan Kyerematen as the discussions continue.
I'm really excited, though I know it was coming. But when we got the news from the reply of the president for him accepting the resignation, I was so excited. I couldn't even sleep the whole night because I was waiting for my man, the promised one, Alan Kyerematen, to such a caliber to help, but at least he has paid his dues to the government.
Some of us from the Zongo community who are staunch supporters of Alan felt even the thing has late because we have the opinion Alan should have come much longer. But in any case, God's time is the best. The time that he came is the best time for us to start. And he's coming, in fact, is going to help us seriously because the ground is very fertile. We have been moving on the ground, doing a lot of campaign, doing a lot of groundworks with the grassroots. And what they were saying that they want Alan to come, they want Alan to resign.
In August 2022, pro-Alan groups poured onto the streets of Kumasi in their numbers to take part in a health walk christened Edruso, to wit, "It is your turn." Although the leadership of the MPP tried to stop the event, organizers and supporters defied the calls. Some supporters of Mr. Kyerematen spoke to Citi News during that event, which courted controversy within the party.
Asantuma has spoken, Asantuma will speak, and Asantuma will determine the breaking of eight with Alan Kyerematen as our leader for the contest in 2024.
My motivation was derived for how the grassroots are yearning for Alan Kyerematen.
For leading members of the Alan faction in the Ashanti region, the decision to resign came at the right time, saying it will boost their confidence.
It's not the message. The man has suffered, just like the way His Excellency Nana Akufo-Addo suffered. Yenim Fruititi. That mantra will not be out.
It was like some of us who are close to him knows yes, he will contest. But people were asking, are you sure he is coming? Is he not going to deceive us? But the moment he tendered in the resignation, it shows people he is ready. As he said, he's an old horse in the game. So he's ready for the battle now. And yes, I'm really excited for the resignation. And it's also timely, which also boosts my confidence to work very hard for him.
A senior political science lecturer at the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology, Dr. Amachi Boatin, says the resignation was anticipated.
Alan Kyerematen has not shied away from the fact that he would like to lead the party to manage the affairs of the country as the president. And so his supporters have actually been also expecting that. And when you refer to people in the party jubilating, I think you making reference to his supporters. Generally speaking, I think it is good for Alan Kyerematen himself.
A former Ghana's ambassador to Guinea, Alhaji Shaib Musa Sharif, is however calling for an amendment to the MPP's constitution to prohibit sitting vice presidents from contesting as flag bearers.
The MPP should look at our constitution and make it in such a, because it's creating a lot of acrimony in the party. We should look at our constitution and then rewrite it or put a clause in it that anybody who has been chosen as a vice president cannot come and contest the presidential election immediately if a vacancy becomes available. Why?
That would be an infringement.
No, I'm saying, I mean, if it's a constitution, when you are the people who make an infringement, yeah, now if you do it, it's an infringement of somebody's right. But when we look at it, when the party people, all of us agree, look at it, because it's the acrimony that is creating is a lot.
Dr. Amachi Boatin also shared some thoughts on other personalities who have declared intentions to contest as flag bearers of the MPP.
Without a blink of my eye, take out Dr. Friakutu. In his own interest, he shouldn't contest. He has demonstrated terrible incompetence in the Agric ministry. Unless he comes out to say that the government did not fund his ministry. Otherwise, he can hardly convince his own wife that he's a presidential material. To the extent that Ghana continues to import tomatoes from Burkina Faso, then we can't say anything, presentable about the minister. So, he shouldn't contest. I don't ever think that he could, come out as a winner. Someone in a conversation over the possibility of Kennedy Japan coming out suggested that there's a remote possibility that he might ride on populism and come out. I beg to differ. He's not the type who is, if you like, a public person. He's not a public person. He's not known for any special capacity in the management of human affairs. He is known in public as being, if you like, very, very casual with the use of words and easily getting overly emotional.
The commentary over Mr. Tremantin's resignation is still raging. The Ashanti region remains the stronghold of the New Patriotic Party, and delegates from this region will undoubtedly play a major role in choosing who becomes the next flag bearer of the party. When the time is due, whichever way it goes, the delegates of the MPP are the best deciders. Hafiz Tijani, Citi News, Ashanti Region.
The founder of Perez Chapel International Church in Accra, Archbishop Charles Ajinasare, has charged the National Democratic Congress to protect the public purse and fight corruption if elected into power in 2024. The Archbishop made the comments during the party's Thanksgiving service on Sunday morning at his church. My colleague Akusia Oche was there to fellowship with them, and she has filed this report. Akusia, what else have they been saying?
8th of January 2023, the first month of the year, the largest or the biggest opposition party, that's the National Democratic Congress, converged here on the premises of the Perez Chapel International here in Jawulu in Accra. Well, what are they here to do? It's basically for a Thanksgiving service. Well, according to the party, this is the time to seek for God's interventions and also to thank God for the elections that was held somewhere in November last year. And so a number of big works within the party, but this particular Thanksgiving is led by the national chairman of the party, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, and also the general secretary of the party, Fifi Fiazi Kwete. Founder of the Perez Chapel International Church, Archbishop Charles Ajinasare, has been charging the leaders of the NDC to endeavor to protect the public purse when elected into office.
It's obvious the greatest enemy of this nation is corruption. But looking at the way political parties fund their activities and campaigns, our view is that we are not going to fight corruption anytime soon. Those political business people who fund politicians end up hijacking the wealth of the nations. Politicians help us to fight this. You must exercise the perception that Ghanaian politicians go into office to steal from the public purse and not to do service to the nation.
Also, the national chairman of the NDC, Johnson Asiedu Nketia, while addressing the congregants, said that the party needs God's intervention ahead of the election of the flag bearer and also the 2024 general elections.
Why are we here? We are here for a very simple exercise, but very important exercise. NDC over the past year, 2022, have gone through a very difficult but intensive series of elections. Within a year, We have elected over 400,000 party executives from branches to national level. And we did this by holding more than 40,000, in fact 47,000 elections. Before we embarked on this difficult journey, we saw the face of God and prayed that God will take us through, so that in the end we will have a party solid as we began. We are here because the Lord has taken us through. We are not done yet. We have another set of 277 elections to go. We are going to elect candidates for all 275 plus 1 constituencies, and also elect the flag bearer who will lead the party into the 2024 contest. But we think that if you thank the Lord, He will shower more blessings so that He will see you through the next phase.
Also in attendance is some members of parliament. I'm seeing the ranking member on the Health Committee of Parliament, Kwabena Mensah Kando, and also the member of parliament for Ningo Prampram, Samuel Nati George. And so we'll speak to some of them shortly to find out their New Year resolutions, because the year has just begun. I'm sure a number of them would have a few things to say, and so we'll speak to hello, Honorable, how are you doing?
Very well.
Happy New Year.
Same to you.
And so this year we've just begun. What are your New Year resolutions?
To work harder for my constituents and for this country, and to continue to give up myself as best as possible.
Okay, and regards to the economy,
we're looking forward to a change.
As an individual, we will thank God how far He has brought us. God has done His part. He's given us the power to govern ourselves. Unfortunately, we have been disappointed by the government. 2022 was a very tough year. You saw all the challenges in 2022. We are only praying to God that unless and until a miracle happens, 2023 is going to be tougher than 2022. And I say so because I'm a member of parliament and I sit in parliament and I know the budget for the 2023. I will not pretend that, something big, something different is going to happen.
Last year we saw a lot of things happening. This year, what do you want to see happen? What are your New Year resolutions for the country?
I would say hope that our country will become more and more aligned to what I would call the divine blueprints, because every nation has a blueprint, and I feel we've been drifting away from that blueprint. So it's my own prayer that gradually we start getting more aligned to that blueprint. It's only through that blueprint that this country will find its way back to peace and to prosperity again. So that really is my deepest prayer and hope.
Right. We're going to see you hold your flag bearership elections. And can you tell us a bit more about that? How is it going to go? Have you met to discuss anything regarding the elections?
I'm not in a position to disclose that yet, because the processes haven't been completed as yet. Hopefully we'll complete them by midweek. And once that is done, I'll come out with a formal announcement as to exactly what is going to happen.
After this Thanksgiving service, the opposition National Democratic Congress will be looking forward to holding its election of the flag bearership positions, as well as the bigger one, which is come 2024, the general elections. Well, the party is hopeful of being elected into power in that particular elections that will be conducted by the Electoral Commission. Reporting for Citi News, my name is Akosia Ochri.
Now, still on the NDC, 2 more persons have been arrested in connection with the violent disturbances that occurred during the National Democratic Congress's National Youth and Women's Congress held in Cape Coast on December 10, 2022. Police statement noted that Idris Abbas, who is believed to be the ringleader, and Dauda Mohammed Nazir were arrested at Kintampo and Wenchi in the Bono and Bono East regions respectively on Sunday. This brings to 4 the number of suspects arrested so far, according to the police. In the course of the arrest, one of the suspects, Idris Abbas, shot and wounded one of the police officers. The officers returned fire and shot him in the legs. Both the injured officer and the injured suspect are receiving medical attention and are in stable condition. You're still watching the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Still to come. Residents of Akwetia in the eastern region urge the government to speedily complete abandoned road projects in the area. We'll be back shortly with that and many other stories. Do stay.
This is the neighborhood I'm having my twins.
The very reason why I took it for us. See, the price is very good and it's spacious to contain all of us.
Alphabet City. Now I'm a landlord. I don't pay rent. And my Airbnb business is booming.
To be Pamini, bank and I'm an Alphabet City. The pension pay 20%. The payment plan, I want to share my just very smooth.
This is a healthy place to raise our families and creating peace. Come on, be my neighbor.
Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Alphabet City is a classy and peaceful gated community in Sakomono. We have 24/7 top-notch security and high-quality access roads. We have 3 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, 3 bedrooms and 3 washrooms with boys' quarters. We have 3 bedrooms and 4 washrooms. We have 2 bedrooms and 2 washrooms, all with beautiful kitchens and kitchenettes. Call Alphabet City on 0240-111119 or 050-44-99999. Alphabet City, the ABC of Home Sweet Home.
Getting together for the first time in years was a little bit awkward. Grandpa still tried to entertain us. Mom was always stealing the spotlight from the kids. It wasn't until Grandma cracked a joke
That's my favorite prayer.
that we got back into our groove. In this festive, DSTV is making family time even better with an upgrade.
Stay connected to DSTV and we'll upgrade you to the next package for free.
You're welcome back. Let's do some more stories. Residents of Akwetia in the eastern region want the government to urgently complete abandoned road projects in the area. The residents bemoan the health implications of the dusty nature of some principal roads in the community, hence the need for urgent steps to be taken to fix the poor roads. There's more in the following report by Citi News' Ni Ayikwe Okan.
Akwetia is a mining community in the eastern region and one of the notable areas for the growing of cash crops such as cocoa and oil palm. But the town can barely boast of good inner roads and linking ones to neighboring communities. Residents of Achimkusi town tell Citi News the dusty nature of the Lincoln Road to Takrase poses a health risk to them. Commercial drivers lament the effects on their operations.
Potholes in footro. Just say, "Quite an answer, and you, in so to is here, and home better. Quite your car, your car, papa crow, coins will be a talker, no the cuckoo. O talk out as of us, be not say noon and answer. Potholes are casting a quiny nine yet, as a quiny dear, rushing of doors, yes, you're this year, Puma organizer, yeah. So you are mom, why I have one dinner. Oh, and yes, sir, you who said, baby, I say the coat. Oh, where dear, Yami, I'm no corner, will call yourself, I say, we are quite so. You say, we are quite and quota and friend, mammy, they be see that the whole danger what is cuisine quan, no coil my machines, no be chasso, and all my scanner fabu boy and other than your goose, I didn't want. Ya adwen eya na yeguye kwan to na bo koyo na ebo aye na yeguye kwan de blow eja me su betime dwale untimi Saturday wa ha o untimi Saturday nka se wa dress wa de kokedo unya se Saturday na bedu ka se wa ase wo fie kure bi na ba so most ye wo penifo ye mpatamu a nyame shira ye wo sa ne ma no ye wo organizer the wo embania wo organizer wo fita class ye wo disi wa ase Yo, I'm for this to better answer 8 years. Kisimu better answer 8 years. When Petemuade, I can't quite ye. Ah, then. Near Quanye, Nancy Crani and Timmy and Quaquetia. Now on Nabu, Eddie Fidia Brain. I beg you, Quan Sunyana, come and said ye to me Quaquetia, hospital. You could do, you could be a Waquetia. I am sure I could infutro, how best I had. When futuro na ekoye mu ese ne yesro na boso obetimi abegu ye kwan yi so amaye.
In an attempt to give a facelift to the road, the residents have resorted to using the residue of processed palm kernel oil on the roads after the Member of Parliament for the area, Henry Yadomboachi, restriped the road.
Nsuta na choku hanusi tema cars na ekono na omobre. And to me, I'm quite sure more called dark ball a highway for Ramanians. No, I'm say, might be behaving to remember yet. And then, yeah, the so funny as Sakas that bet you 200 mana. Yeah, into some may my young pepper, some may yes, I covet no my. Na a quanos no, the senior dready. I must say, Hano, and Cabestre say, cool tap on my mind. As I say, a food trinity, in sort of pet, not say, but as in your home. For
residents of the Toboase township in the Akwetia constituency, the government must asphalt the dusty roads and provide culverts to help curb flooding whenever it rains.
And for Tukwande, I can't want so much rabbi. And so only would you maybe and Pamfutron to the Yareba. When they see Tamay Krumasi be brilliant pepun, since in Futron I found a good tiny hentino. Yaria Kessia Bobo and Yadi. And Smith him same foot and yet, you may get rabbi and say, Cornabo, Omodina, or she so been supervisor, quan we are mine, it many baby at.
A hano, and sure to a honey yet. A honey ye at a 10 year, and to say, my Adam, that's a movie chat, Yaquayamayana, Yadamasipa. Some about movie chat, Equayamayana. Sana yehwehwe mfuturo ne nsunsuanso ne ba sana bi wo ho a enkwala no kura free school ba obi wo ho a etimi fa gote se afa de yale ene ntontom ne enioma ne oma ba enti mo abeye we no yehu se mo wo empuntuo ma kurei.
The MP has also facilitated the construction of some inner roads for the Achimwenchi town for ease of mobility by residents. The Member of Parliament for Akwetia, Henry Yadomboachi, tells Citi News he would work to ensure that the poor roads are fixed by the Ministry of Roads and Highways.
What I intend doing is I actually file a question to the Roads and Highways Minister, Honorable Amakwanta, and he made a promise to me that after the holidays, I should do a follow-up and see how best he's going to package a contract, and that contract will be awarded. Then they can come back to site and continue, because they were doing it before the election. We don't know what actually happened after the election. Then the contractor came and then they packaged things and left. So it's something that I'm following up. I'm doing this on my capacity. To tie the road also is a different thing. That's also a government work. I would say that in the sense that they were doing it before I came in as a member of parliament. So mine is to make sure I follow up, talk to the road sector minister, and make sure things will be done at the appropriate time.
The MP, as part of his developmental projects for the area, has commenced the construction of a chips compound at Ariaso and also renovated similar projects at Buedua and Baminase, all within the constituency. This is the Kusi town, linking to Takrase, all within the Akutia constituency in the eastern region. And the deplorable nature of the roads here are making residents here uncomfortable. To this end, most of the residents have improvised this bitumen that you see by me, just in an attempt to lessen the impact of the dusty road on them. They are calling on the government to ensure that the deplorable nature of the road is fixed as soon as possible. Reporting for Citi News from Akwetia, my name is Ni Ayikwe Okai.
The challenge of accessing water in Kukuo in the Nanumba South District is an annual ritual, a situation residents have described as stressful. Citi News last year reported of a similar situation at the community and called on the authorities and other stakeholders to help address the situation. However, the situation unfortunately persists. Our Northern Regional Correspondent, Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira, visited the community and came through with this report.
The issue of some residents across the country, especially those in the northern part of the country, crying for potable water is here again as the dry season sets in. In northern region, for example, several communities are without potable water and are depending on other sources that is, in most cases, are not safe. Others do not just have access to water, and Kukuo in the Nanumba South District is one of such. The challenge of Kukuo is that it is situated on top of a mountain, making the water table there to be very low, hence the challenge. Several non-governmental organizations and philanthropists have tried drilling boreholes for them. In the rainy season, there is water in the boreholes, but in dry season like this time, the boreholes becomes dry, like this one. Hajia Rabi, a former assembly member for the area, spoke on the challenges the situation poses to women in the community.
The water situation in Kukuo is very, very bad. Now, every village in Nano, their women are now resting. But our women here, they wake up at dawn, 3 o'clock, go for water, chasing water. By the time they will come, Muslim has finished praying their salat. After no lunch, because no water, children are crying, likewise their husband. So all what they are doing here, the water table here is very, very hard. And we the inhabitants, know where we can get water, which will be everlasting. We can get water at Kamwa Oti River. Okay. Here, the main road here, there's a hill, whereby if they are going to demolish it, it will spend a lot of money. But that place, we've got valleys, no hill. So if anybody is going to give us water, I think without that place, no source in the town that they can get water. My appeal is NGOs, government, or good Samaritans who are there, they should come to our aid and give us water so that we rest here.
There are other boreholes about 2 kilometers outside the community where women go to fetch water. Citi News visited one of the boreholes where the news team met some women who shared their frustrations. To access the other source of water, which is the river Oti, the women will have to descend the mountain for about a kilometer before reaching the riverside. Citi News decided to visit the site to see the actual situation. Citi News, on its way to the riverside, met some women from Bimbila who came to the community for a funeral and decided to go see the mountain and the river. They shared their experience with Citi News.
We have come to observe the river and then how it looks like, because this is my first time of being in Kuku. So actually it's not easy. Wow. It's not easy for me at all. Even the walk alone, in fact, see how I'm breathing. Not to talk of women are fetching water from the river to their houses. Wow. No, it's not good. They should help the women in Kuku. In fact, they are suffering. At least people should come to their aid and then help them.
At the riverside, Citi News met some women and they narrated how they struggle on daily basis to go fetch water.
Ibe njika jia kwama sonsim ka to kulbora iko tete kwama ka de tanto wa ala ma marna balakate anya kwam ma to chanta tumanya to sher kwama me kana ko to chan don for na so ga tamsh din dabayi akule yamjela kwama ka kungbate yanku amana bi.
The women are appealing to the government and other organizations to support them by finding ways of getting the water from the river to the community to resolve the challenge.
We are just coming from the riverside, and as you could hear from the women, was like if they don't take painkillers, they are unable to sleep. We are yet to climb up to where we came from. Reporting from the mountains of Kuku, Mohammed Aminu M. Alabira for Citi News.
Now, the business community is lamenting the decision by the government to reverse the benchmark value policy. Stakeholders in the sector insist it is insensitive for the government to reverse the policy in light of the numerous challenges confronting business owners in the country. There's more in the following report.
About 3 years after the implementation of the benchmark policy, the government recently announced a complete reversal of the policy, which was initiated in a bid to help reduce the prices of imported products in the country. This means that beginning this year, importers will no longer enjoy 10% discount on vehicles and a 30% discount on all other goods. The news was made public by the Ghana Revenue Authority (GRA) and explained that the move was in line with the 2023 budget and economic policy aimed at collecting more revenue for the state. However, the business community is unhappy with the reversal of the benchmark policy. Dr. Joseph Obin is the president of GUTA, and he says the move will result in a further increase in the price of goods and services.
It was captured in the budget, and now they are going to implement it. What is going to happen is that duty is going to go up about 40% cumulatively. And this is what we have to contend with this year. Beginning of this year, we expect that cost of doing business is going to go high, because already VAT is also added, and it's all part of the duty calculation. And then when you come to also do your costing, you have to also charge the VAT. So we are expecting that prices of goods and services are going to go up, and no doubt about that. Because these are the factors that we use to benchmark our pricing. And so once the duties are going to go up, once VAT is going to go up, we should expect that we are also going to add up.
Executive Secretary of the Importers and Exporters Association of Ghana, Samson Asaki Awingobet, said government's reversal of the policy is in bad taste.
The finance minister made it clear on that very day to us that government was also going to set up an ad hoc committee. This ad hoc committee was going to comprise with the business community and the government. I can tell you that since the benchmark values was taken away, that 20% reversal from the vehicle and 30% reversal from the general goods, up to this as we speak, we did not have any meeting. Government did not invite us to come to government to continue the discussion, nor even asking for to constitute the ad hoc committee that was announced in the very day the finance minister took off the difference. In fact, the finance minister could not take it off unilaterally. That was the reason why the finance minister engaged with. The point is, if I had received my tax bill as of last week, which was not at the time, then the value reversal was not taken effect.
Dr. Joseph Obin also stated that it was crucial to boost the local manufacturing industry to reduce the dependence on importation.
Let's go to the educational sector now, because the Ministry of Education has advised parents whose wards are in senior high schools not to pay any fees to the various school management as their wards return to school on Monday. This follows an indication that parents are being asked to pay PTA fees to cater for stationery and food for their wards in senior high schools. There's more in the following report filed by Citi News' Anne Shirley Zhu.
The rollout of the free SHS program since 2017 has been fraught with many challenges. These include inadequate accommodation, logistics, and most of all, inadequate supply of food. Stakeholders in the educational sector have called on the government to review the free SHS policy to allow for parents to bear some of the cost. But the government remained adamant, stating that it is able to bear all the costs associated with the policy. The government subsequently justified an increase in the allocation for the free SHS policy in the 2023 budget. Despite these efforts of governments, parents are being asked to pay some amount of money as part of Parent-Teacher Association levy to cater for stationery and food. As senior high schools are expected to reopen on Monday, January 9, some parents have been complaining about the fees they are being asked to pay. But the public relations officer of the Parents-Teachers Association, Irene Sam, who explained the reason for the fees, says it is to complement the efforts of the government.
There are other things that the PTA has to do to complement these efforts of government. Government alone cannot do everything. Look at the senior high schools in the country and the population in each school. And government is overburdened doing everything for parents. Paying tuition fees, examination fees, boarding facilities and everything. We realize that government alone cannot do all this. That's why the PTAs are there. So PTAs are there, and then it's an association, and every association must rely on dues and levies to survive. So when we look at areas that government is not able to absorb, that is when the PTA comes in to cushion. The whole of last year, the last semester exams, it's PTA who sponsored all the examinations because government was not forthcoming with the monies for the examination. And we understand that government has done so much for education, so much that we highly commend government on that. But where we have gotten to now, parents must be aware that they must also help.
She appealed to parents to exercise restraint in such situations, since it's for the benefit of their wards.
Government didn't say PTA shouldn't contribute. All that government said was that teachers shouldn't be involved, or the school management shouldn't be involved in the collection of monies. But PTAs can get their own executives to collect their own funds, to manage their own funds, all in the interest of their wards. I want to appeal to parents that all that the executives are doing is in the interest of their wards. When you go and report the PTA to an official, that official also has a word in the school that he or she is contributing to.
Speaking to Citi News, the Public Relations Officer of the Ministry of Education, Kwesi Kwarteng, described the fees as illegal and advised parents not to pay.
We all know when it comes to the financial policy that underpins education in Ghana here, especially at the basic level. I mean, at no point should any parent or student pay money to any school, especially when it comes to feeding, fees, whatever. I mean, the government policy is very clear that as part of measures to expand access into our education space, of course, with the ultimate view of achieving a socio-economic transformation, at no point should any parent pay money. It is the more reason why government elected to remove that barrier of cost. And so if we get to know the name of such institution quickly, we may have to liaise with the headmaster or the headmistress and understand or find out what is really going on. But I mean, for the records, such payments are illegal and they are not supposed to be paid.
This is still the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV, still to come. President Akufo-Addo reiterates his administration's commitment to, at all times, support Ghanaian-owned businesses. We'll be back with that story.
Finally, anyone can become a house owner.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. You Go Flip, a real estate gaming platform that allows you to play and stand a chance of winning a house or cash or consolidated prizes, such as savings towards a house. Simple and easy to play. Visit www.yougoflip.com. Buy a ticket to enter the game. Wait for the end of the game to enjoy the win. Anyone can win. Flip it or own it. You Go Flip. This advertisement has been vetted and approved by the Gaming Commission of Ghana. Play responsibly, not for persons below 18 years, and gaming can be addictive.
It's Citi on the go. You don't have to miss any of your favorite television and radio shows on Citi TV and Citi FM. Enjoy thrilling content from your world of great television and relevant radio at your convenience. Subscribe to CitiTube on YouTube. Turn on your notification button and receive prompts on our live streaming sessions and new content uploads. For easy access to the CitiTube page, scan the barcode on your screens. Subscribe to the CitiTube page and voila! Unlimited content awaits you. Don't forget to subscribe to CitiTube for amazing content from Citi TV and Citi FM.
Aside raising funding and be a unicorn, the main goal is to impact life, to enrich minds, to know that the African youth is capable of changing the narrative, taking charge of their lives, whether it's running a business or working for a company.
I fell in love with the opportunity to work with young people and channel their energy to nation building.
It's my job, once you join the team, to figure out how best you can use the strengths and even the weaknesses you have to advance the cause to prosperity for 1 billion people.
The generation before us helped us, and then we help the next generation.
Well, our struggles may be singular, but our destinies are shared.
You're welcome back. President Akufo-Addo has commended Ghanaian company First Sky Construction Limited, a subsidiary of the Sky Group, for its outstanding performance in the sector. In a speech read on his behalf at the group's 20th anniversary Thanksgiving celebration by Roads Minister Kwesi Amoakwata, President Akufo-Addo reaffirmed his government's support for Ghanaian companies and called on the Christian community to help support the National Cathedral project.
What started as a modest construction company 2 decades ago with only 3 employees has grown into the First Sky Group with 7 subsidiaries and more than 5,000 employees. At the Thanksgiving anniversary, Executive Chairman Eric Kutoche thanked God for all the company has achieved over the years.
Despite the global economic, social, and political development, with direct and indirect impact on the Ghanaian economy, as a Christian business entity, we have acknowledged the power of God as the underlying factor and driving force that has sustained and preserved us throughout the year. We did not lay off any worker, or did any worker experience any pay cut. Rather, we improved the welfare of workers and also increased our staff strength by 410, bringing the total of 5,120 total members of the workers.
In a sermon themed Aware of the Presence of God, General Superintendent of the Assemblies of God in the USA, His Highness Reverend Doug Clay, exhorted the management to look up to God in their most difficult times, as better days are yet to come.
But celebrating the past is only a prologue to what God wants to do in the future. You see, it's okay to be content with what you have, but it's never okay to be content with where you're at. And I am grateful that First Sky Group has a continued passion and vision and belief that the best is yet to come. I can't promise you that you're not going to face opposition. I can't promise you that you're not going to face fear. I can't promise you that you're not going to face government restrictions. I can't promise you that you're not going to face some religious freedom challenges, but I can promise you, though mountains may crumble and seas run dry, it's the word of our God that stands forever. And when you feel afraid, remember the Lord your God is with you and he's on your side.
The special guest of honor, Vice President of Liberia, Dr. Joel Taylor, called on Christian leaders to take up the challenge of creating more jobs to impact society.
The examples that First Sky has set are examples that each of us should set in our individual lives, in the lives of our own businesses. If you want an overflowing of the grace of God, there are just principles you have to follow. It's not crying, it's not, there's some things you don't have to fast and pray about. If you follow God's principles, he's bound by his word to fulfill that which he had promised.
President Akufo-Addo, in a speech read on his behalf by the Roads and Highways Minister Kwesi Amoakwata, commended First Sky Group for its services and impact on society over the years.
For private sector actors such as First Sky Group, whose contributions undoubtedly result in the economic development of our nation. The occasion of the celebration of the 20 years of the First Sky Group is a reflection of Ghanaian companies held together by the grace of God, and I pray that these companies continue to stay focused and resilient. The work of First Sky Group is commendable, and I note with pride and satisfaction that it is doing in the area of what it is doing in the area of healthcare. I am reliably informed that your plans to have set up a world-class kidney transplant to be operational in the country, the first of its kind in the West African sub-region, is on course. This surely, when realized, should improve the quality of life of these patients, majority of whom are young, economically productive group of the Ghanaian society.
From the Accra International Conference Center, I am Caleb Kuda for Citi News.
And that's how we end today's edition of the Citi Newsroom on Citi TV. Our website, citinewsroom.com, has more stories. Subscribe to CityTube on YouTube for more exclusive video content from Citi TV. You can also watch Citi TV on DSTV channel 363 and on GoTV channel 182. My name is Enosafo. Many thanks for watching.
I think Galamsey is a mental problem. It's a mental problem. It's a mindset problem that you think you can steal today and still eat your cake tomorrow. I think that if you could go to the next slide, that we have to appreciate to fix and restore is always more expensive than to spoil. Spoiling takes an instant. Those of you who are in married or relationships, you slap your spouse. I'm not recommending this. It takes a second to do that action, but I'm telling you, pay for it for the rest of your life.
Yes.
So it is better not to spoil it in the first place. My third point is that a full-time problem like Galamsey cannot be solved by part-time responses.
The source water we said is Pra, and then these are the supply areas. The whole of Sechereman sends water to Elmina, and then also augments the supply from Brimsu to serve the whole of Cape Coast. It has a production capacity of 30,000 cubic meter per day, which is 6.7 mgd. That's million gallons of water per day. But currently, because of Galamsey and other issues, we only do about 47% capacity utilization. And then the losses that we incur through the production process is about 10 to 20%. There are interesting figures for the color and turbidity over a period. This is we are using the base year of 2016 to current figures. And from Sechereman, when the turbidity is beyond 1,800 MTU, the system cannot run. Currently, alum usage on the plant has actually doubled. And then you have the treatment costs also going up there by 50%. Next slide, please.
And your costs moving to, is that 93,000
yes,
per month? Coming from what figure?
From about 60,000.
So 60,000, you're now putting an extra of at least 30,000.
That's right.
For you to give us less water.
What? Yes.
Okay.
Then in Konongo, we have a plant that has been designed to do about 19,000 cubic meter of water per day.